Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Wealth Building mini class, Money Lessons That Your Kids Are Not Taught at Schools. I'm Millen, Livis, your financial independence mentor. I help busy professional women, probably like you, to become financially independent. So they get out of the rat race and I should say rat race, and they live their life on their terms. They live their life on their terms so they can contribute to the causes that they care about, right? So that's why so many women dream about being financially independent. Now, today, I actually want to talk to you about something that is very close to my heart. I think that you would agree that all of us get conditioned by the money experiences we had back in our childhood. And by the way, whoever is watching me, Bria, hi, great to see you here. Thank you for joining me. So welcome, whether you watch me in recording or live, I really appreciate your time spending with me. So I said that I believe that we all get conditioned by the experiences we had back in our childhood, conditioned what we hear from our parents, from our grandparents, from our teachers, friends, right? So it all get registered in our minds, and emotions get registered in our bodies. And that's how we operate in the world when we become young adults and get older over time and operate under this conditioned um, programming. So many of us, most of us, are very busy parents. Usually we concerned about kids' health and think, you know, if they're healthy, they go to school, then it's pretty much our main role. And I'm guilty of this too, because we rely on educational systems so much that we often don't really spend enough time educating our kids, unless you do homeschooling and you know, maybe you cannot align or relate to what I'm saying. But even with schooling parents, how much time they spend on money education. So if I were in charge of education in our country, I would introduce some very important concepts that I want to share with you today, that I think it's essential that our children learn from very early age. And you as a parent, obligated to support and guide your children so they will not get screwed up by this cultural and societal conditioning around money. Like, for example, for me, what I heard from my parents, from my father, was that you're not, you were not born to be wealthy. You have to really work very, very hard and to be, you know, better than anybody else in order to get ahead in life. And, you know, I also heard a lot that I'm not smart enough to be wealthy and to have the life that I want to have. So that's the conditioning that we as parents probably have to deal with. And you know what? I'm sure you would agree that you don't want your children to be conditioned that way. So today I'm going to share with you 6 out of 13 lessons or tips that I compiled. And next week, I will share with you the rest. I'm very mindful of your time, so I don't want to bombard you with too much information in one mini class, because it's a mini class, right? And I would love to, at the end of this mini class, I would love to hear from you, see what questions you have, what experiences you had with your kids. Because you know, recently I heard that I think Berkeley College in California, they introduced a new educational class called adulting. adulting. And you know what? Parents pay thousands of dollars to send kids to college. To learn what? Adulting? Can't you do it yourself without paying thousands of dollars for this? So that's what we're talking about, okay? So let's begin. So the question, the first lesson that I will teach a young child would be that money is not a thing. It's not a thing. It's whatever meaning you assign to word money. So some people assign the meaning that money is evil, money is hard to get, uh, money makes people greedy, etc., etc. And other people have assign different meaning to word money. Money is my friend. Money has my back. Money can help me to do a lot of good things in the world. Money can help me enjoy life and not worry. Things like that. So that would be the first thing I will instill in young minds, that money is not a thing. It's whatever meaning you give to it. And the best part here is that you can choose. You can choose what meaning you assign to word money. And this meaning will program your entire system, your mind and your body. And that would be pictured out in your life experiences. Okay, so if we have any questions about this first lesson, let me know. I will try to go over them at the end of this class. Okay, so the second lesson that I will teach a young child, that wealth is not something that you acquire. Wealth is something that you create. Becoming wealthy is not about destination. It's about journey. Your journey to becoming wealthy, your journey to being financially independent will shape you, will adjust your attitude, will adjust your personal philosophy, will adjust your habits. So it's a journey. And this journey is very important. So there is, because wealth is not just about how much money you have in the bank. It affects all aspects of your life. It determines your personality. So what we don't want kids to feel and think is that, you know, being wealthy equal to being happy, because it's not true, right? So they've got to understand that it's a journey of discovery, of self-discovery, of life discovery. And they meant to go over this journey. So they will not just dream about winning the lottery, that they will think how they want to live their life, how they want to create wealth. Because wealth is not acquired, it's created. Okay, so I hope we agree on that. And if you have any questions, like I said, please post them in the comments. I would be happy to answer them. Okay, lesson number 3. Money is a form of exchange of value. It's exchange of value. In the old days, people were trading, I don't know, chickens or grains or turkey or whatever, right? Cows. They were trading this for something that they needed, for products or services that they needed. Then human beings invented a different form of money, which was gold and silver, which even now represents value of money for many, many, many people. Then, because it was kind of heavy to carry it with them, people invented notes that in the old times were backed by a reserve of gold and silver of the country. Not any longer, but so that's the progression of money. And now we're talking about using digital money in the form of cryptocurrencies. So you can start introduce this notion of money being an exchange of value. And the more people you can serve, the more value you can offer to people, the more money you can get. So I'm thinking that maybe you could even go for a walk with your child and say, you see this this business, you know, it could be, I don't know, medical office. This business was built to help people to address, to take care of their health. So the more people they help with their health, the more money they will earn. Or I will say, okay, you see this phone, the Apple phone that you have? Someone invented this phone. And that's because it's so valuable in your life. That's why the founder of this invention and the company, Apple company, is doing so well now, because they serve so many people with service and product that people want and like. Right? So that would be very good discussion to have. All right. So next lesson that I would teach if I were in charge of educating our kids at school about finances, I would remind them that they must know what money is coming in, that it's called cash flow, and what money is coming out. I would explain to them that you can use cash, like notes, and you also can have money in your bank that you can use when you pay with the credit card, because the credit card will be eventually paid by the money that you have in the bank. So I would explain to them what cash flow means, and that they must know how much money is coming in and how much money is coming out. They must know that. And they also must know that whatever money is coming out must be less than what they have, the money that they have coming in. It's very important that they learn this from the very early age, that they must know what is coming in, what is coming out, and they must know that they should not spend more than they make. And if they violate this lesson, you know what happens? That's how people become slaves to money. That's how people become literally slaves to money. And that would be something that you've got to talk about with your kids as soon as you think they able to comprehend this concept. Okay, moving forward. Lesson number 5 is that when kids grow up, when they become, I don't know, maybe age 14, 15 and up, you've got to talk to them about understanding their financial statements, about their bank statements, about their credit card statements, and later on, maybe if you obtain the mortgage, explain to them what mortgage is and how important, what is important to look at in the mortgage documents. I saw the statistics today that in the latest mortgage applications, 50% of applicants are millennials. I'm so excited for millennials because, you know, knowing that they were able to save enough money to put down payment and obtain the mortgage, so they can start living in the home and paying off the house. It's a very good news. So it means that millennials, they probably don't expect Social Security pay for their retirement, so they wise up earlier than the previous generations. But you've got to teach your kids how to understand financial statements, starting with simple as bank statement and credit card statements. Okay. All right. So the lesson number 6. You've got to teach your kids about debt. You've got to teach them that there are 2 kinds of debt. There is a bad debt, what I call it bad debt and good debt. So good debt is also called leverage. It's when you borrow money and pay interest on this money to invest or to purchase asset that appreciates in value over time. So basically, your return on investment, you can maybe explain to them in different terms that whatever you pay for this money should be less than what you receive from your assets that you purchase. That's good debt, also called financial leverage. That's how you grow your wealth. It's called also investment, right? That's what investors use, leverage, to grow debt exponentially. And there is also bad debt. Bad debt, for example, credit card debt, consumer debt, is when you borrow money from a credit card company. They very happily will give you this money. Why? Because they charge so much for you borrowing this money that you become a very good subject of creating wealth for the credit card companies, for the bank. Because when you borrow money at a high interest and you use this money not to grow your wealth, but to consume your wealth, to spend on, I don't know, car loan, right? Or that car is depreciating asset. That's not a good loan, because your asset that you buy will not appreciate in value. So you can explain it to your kids how important it is to differentiate between 2 kinds of debt, good debt and bad debt. And also you can mention that the fact that you own the car, as long as you have a car loan, you don't really own it. It's not the asset, it's a liability, right? So, and the same with the house. So this awareness will help them to be much more wise with borrowing money from credit card companies that charge 16 to 29% on when you borrow from them. So I think that will help a lot of children not to be burdened by debt from the very early age. And I think that's what I wanted to share with you today, these 6 lessons, because like I said, I have 13, but I'm very mindful of your time. So I will share with you the rest of these lessons next week, Wednesday, the same place, the same time. It would be 5 o'clock. We're testing new time for my wealth building mini class lessons. And I have in addition to this, I have a quick announcement. I hope you are on my mailing list, because we are cooking something amazing for you. We're cooking something amazing. It's called Think and Finally Live Wealthy Training. And we're planning to offer this training at the beginning of the March, and all details I will email to people who follow me or who are in my group, Wealth Building for Powerful Women. So I'm so excited, because this is probably something that will literally shake up so many people so they could really change their financial lives, upgrade their financial reality. So stay connected with us, and in the meantime, to your peace, power, and prosperity. I'll see you soon.